G'day. We're going to have a look into a Dell 14-inch mobile workstation, and this is the Dell Precision 5490. Now, about 2 years ago, I was really lucky enough to actually review the launch of the 14-inch mobile workstation class for Dell, and that was the Dell Precision 5470. And it was a gift for the Precision anniversary, and I did have some concerns about the thermals and also the performance for long duration tasks in the 5470. Now, 2 years down the track, I get to actually revisit this form factor in the 5490. So we'll see if it has improved or not, and as a spoiler, it did. Now, I'll also be looking at some of the features of this Precision 5490, and as always, I will be putting timestamps along the video so you can skip to different sections you may be interested to save you time. Now, first off is what this Precision 5490 can be configured with. We're going to start with the processor wise. It is using the Intel Core Ultra. Now you can get the Core Ultra 5, Core Ultra 7, and also the Core Ultra 9. Now, as for the memory wise, it has a maximum capacity of 64 gigs. Now, they are soldered to the system board, so make sure you select the correct amount when you purchase it, as you can't upgrade later on. As for storage wise, it has one slot of M.2. It has capability of the format of 2280. It can take 2230 as well, but really 2280 is where it's at. Now, as for the graphics wise, it does have the integrated graphics, which is the Intel Arc, which does pretty well decently, but where the real power is the discrete graphics. So you can configure it with either the NVIDIA RTX 1000 or the RTX 2000 or the RTX 3000. Now, as for the display wise, you have two options. You can get the Full HD Plus, which is non-touch, and that has matte sort of finish to it, or you can get the Quad HD Plus, which is the one I'm testing right now, and it is an AM OLED display, which is really nice, and it has touch capabilities on this, and it is a glossy finish to it, as it has just for the touch. Measuring the color gamma coverage of the Quad HD Plus display, which also has digital stylus support and touch support, and also has a maximum brightness rating of 500 nits, it resulted with 98.8% sRGB coverage, 82% Adobe RGB coverage, 81.8% DCI-P3 coverage. This is pretty respectable. This is a recording from the 720p webcam from the Precision 5490. This is the video and audio unedited, so you can hear and see what the quality of the webcam is like. Now, it is a 720p. I do wish that Dell would actually put a 1080p or above in a mobile workstation, as this is quite a premium product. It's just a suggestion there. Now, as always for this test, I've got two type lights currently turned on. I've got my one studio light turned on, also the downlights is room turned on for ambience. I'll turn off my one studio light off, and we'll see this adjusts. Now, it is quite dark, as the two downlights in front of me is just a bit far away, so there's not much light hitting on my face. If you're in an office environment, you should have much more light than what I'm currently at. I'm going to turn my one studio light back on, and of course, better quality light should give you better quality picture. Definitely love to also hear what you think about the 720p webcam. Put a comment below. There are 4 speakers in total in the Precision 5490. There are 2 tweeter speakers next to the keyboard, and also 2 subwoofer speakers on the bottom front of the laptop. Now, these 2 on the bottom front of the laptop pretty much does the mids and lows, and they are pretty much what I say the main speakers for this Precision 5490. Now, when I tested at the maximum volume of the speakers, they managed to measure a peak of 92.2 decibels. Now, I actually consider this pretty loud. You shouldn't have any issues during a presentation or having a video conference outdoors or at a cafe. Now, normally at this section, I would normally talk to you about the sound profile of the speakers, but this time I'm actually going to have it compared to a MacBook Pro, as most MacBook Pros have absolute fantastic speakers. Now, I've got them both balanced to around about 65 decibels, so hopefully the volume should be about similar. So I'm going to start off the Precision 5490 first. And now the MacBook Pro. Now, I'd definitely love to hear what your thoughts of the comparison between the two speakers. The keyboard and trackpad hasn't really changed since the Precision 5470. We've got nice large size keys with good spacing in between and great key travel. They do have a very quick recoil or retraction after depressing the keys, and they have a very nice smooth surface on the keys with enough friction to actually feel it. They are backlit as well. With the touchpad, it is a mechanical touchpad, so it's hinged at the top and you can depress it as you move down. It's very reactive, and of course it's multi-gestures. It does have that very silky, smooth touch and feel to the touchpad as well. Looking at the temperatures and fan noise, when I took my measurement, the ambient temperature in the room was 24 degrees Celsius. And just to give you a reference point, my hand was anywhere between 36 to about 37 degrees Celsius at this room temperature. So I took my base measurement when the computer was idle, and the hottest air around the keyboard measured a maximum of 31 degrees Celsius. And as for the fan noise, it stayed silent at 35 decibels, and the average internal core temperature was 39 degrees Celsius. So I'll put 20% load. That's pretty much average use. That's tasks like office productivity work, surfing web, streaming video. And the hottest air around the keyboard measured a maximum of 43 degrees Celsius. And as for the fan noise, it did spin up a little bit and made a maximum fan noise of 39 decibels. And as for the average internal core temperature was 62 degrees Celsius. Then I'll put 50% load on the computer, and the hottest air around the keyboard measured a maximum of 47 degrees Celsius. And as for the fan noise, hit a maximum of 45 decibels, and the average internal core temperature was 81 degrees Celsius. Then I put 100% load on the computer, and the hottest air around the keyboard measured a maximum of 44 degrees Celsius. And as for the fan noise, it stayed at 45 decibel, and the average internal core temperature was 90 degrees Celsius. While I had 100% load on the computer, I put the computer in ultra performance in the thermal management mode to allow this computer to bring the best out of it and the highest potential. And the hottest air around the keyboard measured a maximum of 47 degrees Celsius. And as for the fan noise, it spun all the way to a maximum of 49 decibels, and the average internal core temperature was 95 degrees Celsius. I also measured the bottom back cover while I had this 100% load, and the hottest air around the bottom back cover measured a maximum of 40 degrees Celsius, and of course it stayed at a fan noise of 49 decibels. While the maximum fan noise is at 49 decibels, that's actually quite respectable compared to other mobile workstations or high-end gaming laptops. This is actually very usable, and you won't get annoyed or complaints from your possible neighbors or possible colleagues in the room or in the office with you. So it's actually quite usable and quite nice. Looking at the stability performance of the processor for long duration tasks, this Precision 5490 is configured with a Core Ultra 7 165H processor, and I pretty much got a task that's running on pretty much most of the system resources at 100%, and that's the processor, memory, storage, and quite a bit on the discrete graphics that it can maintain. And this task has been going for about 5 hours, and I can see that the speed of the processor is averaging anywhere between 3 to 3.2 gigahertz. So I'll say an average of about 3.1 gigahertz. Now I'm going to do a little bit more deeper in this, so I've actually broken the utilization to the cores. As you can see, some are 100%, some are about 80%. Now the 80% ones are the efficiency cores, and you'll also see two that's parked down here, as this has 22 cores, and these two are the actual low power efficiency cores. Now I'm just going to bring up the Intel page that describes the specifications for this particular processor, and we can see that we've got 6 performance cores, 8 efficiency cores, and 2 low power efficiency cores. They're the two that are parked at the moment, and again we are running this for about 5 hours. I can see the average temperatures, if you average them all out, around about 95 degrees Celsius. Now I do have this in best performance mode and also in the Dell power mode, and the thermal management is ultra performance. Now I also want to bring a little bit more on the cores. Now we can see here just a little bit breaking up on the actual speed here. As we can see, these are the efficiency cores, and they are averaging anywhere between 2.7 to about 2.8 gigahertz for what we can see for the efficiency cores. Now, as for the performance cores, they are ranging anywhere between 3 to about 3.7 gigahertz. So overall, that's where you're actually getting a calculation of about 3.1 gigahertz. As you can see, the efficient cores, of course, are much faster than the 3.1 gigahertz that's running at. So overall, this was a concern I had in the earlier Precision 5000 series on the search, especially in the 14-inch and the 15-inch. They were actually lacking quite a bit, but in this particular one, in the 5490, I can definitely see that it's able to maintain quite high clock speed for long duration tasks. So this concern I had for the 14-inch on the thermal solution and also the issues they had in the past, this has been put to rest. Looks like they have actually improved and listened and actually improved on fixing up the performance for long duration tasks for this Precision 5490. The weight of the Precision 5490 is 1.61 kilos plus the 130 watt power adapter becomes a combined weight of 2.03 kilos you might be carrying around with you. If you get the non-discrete graphics version of the Precision 5490, it comes with a 100 watt power adapter instead. The Precision 5490 comes with a 72 watt hour battery. And for the battery life test, I managed to get 7 hours and 28 minutes for the Modern Office battery life test in PC Mark 10, 1 hour and 4 minutes for gaming, and 7 hours and 57 minutes for video playback on the Procom battery life test. As for the build quality and the construction of the Dell Precision 5490, it's mostly made of aluminium for the top. It's got that premium feel to it, and also the bottom is all aluminium. You've got this nice, beautiful, shiny aluminium built to it. It's just very nice, premium look to it. And as for the palm rest and display, it is that carbon fiber look to it, and that looks really fantastic for over there. We're just going to do the hinge test in a moment, but I'm just going to do the quick bend test. This is just built, strong here. It's built tough, really tough. Yeah, so it can take definitely some punishment. And just to see the keyboard flex, that's actually quite a lot. I'm putting a lot of pressure on it, and it can definitely see it's actually holding that very, very well. Now, as for the hinge wise, I'm just going to do one finger test here. So I'm just going to do this very quickly for you. So one finger, and that is nice and smooth until we get to nearly about, I'll say about 80 degrees, and then it just starts to stick there, and you just need a little extra point help with it, and that is it. So that's the maximum capability of there. So you're looking at, what would you say this is about? Probably about 130 for this viewing angle. That's the maximum viewing angle for that. And as for the quick idea of seeing if it clamps, this is going to clamp very well. I can see that not even letting go at all. So very nice here. Now I know some of you are going to ask, I'm just very lucky enough to also have this computer with me while I'm reviewing it, and that is the new Dell XPS 14. This is the 9440. So a lot of people, this is more for small business, and this is a premium one. So this is the one you'll see if I just open it up. This is one with the unified palm rest for the touch. It's really nice here. But I'm just going to give you an idea on just having compare the Dell Precision 5490 with the Dell XPS 1490-440, and you'll see how small this 14-inch Precision is. So I'm just going to put this right here. You can hopefully see there is probably, like, I would say about nearly, probably say a centimeter on the gap on the actual length of it. Now as for the height, I would even say that's probably about half a centimeter. I'm just going to put it at half a centimeter in terms of the footprint here. So 1 centimeter was half a centimeter. And also just to give you an idea on the actual height of it, the depth, they're pretty much nearly the same. I would say just the back end of the Precision is just probably about a few mils higher. Not that much difference, but there is a little difference. I wouldn't say they're the same. They have a little bit of difference between the two, but geez, the footprint on this Dell Precision 5490 is small, very small, hence why they've actually claimed it being the world's smallest 14-inch mobile workstation. These are the results of the benchmarks performed on the Precision 5490. This one's configured with a Core Ultra 7 165H with the RTX 2000. Here's the results for Passmark, Citybench R23, Citybench 2024, PC Mark, 3D Mark, Crossmark, Crystal Disk Mark, Geekbench 5, Geekbench 6, Geekbench ML, Procon Office, Procon Machine Learning, Procon MPU, Procon Tensor RT, Procon AI Image, Procon Video Edit, Fugit Photoshop, Fugit Lightroom, Fugit After Effects, Fugit Premiere Pro, Fugit DaVinci Resolve, Burmark, Luxmark, Octane Bench, Eugene Engine, Spec View Prep 2020, and some gaming benchmarks like Far Cry 6, Cyberpunk 2077, Bonza 5, and F1 2023. Having a quick look in the internals of the Precision 5490. Now we'll start off with the 72 watt-hour battery at the bottom here, and then we've got the battery connected right in the middle here. So if you're troubleshooting power issues or battery issues, or if you're working internally, it's a good idea to disconnect this here. Now, on the left hand side of this is the SSD storage. This is M.2, and it is shielded with this nice copper heat shield, and you can see this is a 2280 format right here. Now on the right hand side of this, we have the Bluetooth Wi-Fi module. This is right here, and as I said in the specs, that we do have onboard or soldered memory, and they are sitting right underneath these two areas for the heat sink. Now we've got the processor and we've got the discrete graphics here. Now we are using a twin pipe system here, and we've got twin fans, and how the airflow works is it comes in from the bottom and then goes directly straight out. Very simple setup here. The Dell Precision 5490, I can finally call it a mobile workstation, as now, after all those improvements and tweaking, it is now able to sustain that high performance over long duration time, and also has the thermal to back it up. Finally, this should have been what the Dell 5470 should have been. This is now a nice matured mobile workstation, and we got great upgrades on the display. I definitely love that display with that Quad HD display, and we have a nice selection of ports, although we still have to carry a dongle for the HDMI. I definitely like to see that built in, as I don't kind of think it's possible, as this is a business class laptop after all. I don't really like carrying dongles with me when I'm doing presentations, so definitely like to see a HDMI port built in rather than having it as a dongle, but still it's nice to see them at least included so you don't have to purchase things. We've got a great keyboard, very reactive touchpad, and the speakers fantastic there, and just the look of this, it's got that nice minimalistic view, very professional grade and build quality on it, the Dell Precision 5490. So I can definitely easily finally recommend the Dell Precision 5490, and it's got that nice small form factor for the world's smallest 14-inch mobile workstation. Now I hope you found this video informative and enjoyed it. If you did, even support my channel, smash that like button for me, share this video, it does help me out, and as always, imperfections in life makes it beautiful and interesting. And I'll see you next video.